Facebook Living this?
I am. Is Facebook Live. Drew,
3, 2.
you are out of focus somehow.
No.
But wait, what's going on? Okay, now it's in focus.
Am I on my mark?
We could use a key light. Can somebody fly in a key light? Or take a step back.
Yep.
That's probably good.
Good?
Yeah, we'll make do.
Alright, can I get a mark right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need some good fill.
Oh, yes! Danny to the rescue.
Wow, this is more intimidating than I would have thought.
Is it? Isn't
You're
it?
right.
We are all looking at you.
I'm with you, Eric.
Yeah.
First of all, Miguel, the drink thing was amazing. I shared with a couple of people, like, shortly after my grandfather passed, he had about 3/5 of a giant bottle of Dewar's in his closet. Like, he would drink a whatever you call it, like a tumbler of Dewar's, like, every night, and there was like 3/5 of a thing of Dewar's left. And so we, my whole family, we got together at their place, and then we found this bottle of Dewar's, and we passed everybody. We had coffee cups, like, everybody took a shot, and we all took a shot of Dewar's and, like, choked afterwards, and it was very cathartic with the whole family drinking his bottle. So that was a great thing that we all did. That was great. I'm really glad that you guys put this all together. I was just telling Eric and Danny right before this that, like, I kind of lost connection with a lot of you guys over the past 10 to 12 years, and, like, we're a lot of us are still friends on Facebook, and that's all great. But when Erin passed, I didn't really have too many or anybody to, like, really connect with to talk about it. It really hit me really hard, and unexpectedly too, because Erin was great, and I worked on her film, and we had a good connect, but, like, we weren't really, like, friends like Eric and her were, and Andrew and her. So I didn't think it was going to affect me that bad. I watched on Facebook as she went through everything over the past year, and I was very inspired by how she handled it, with humor and with grace, and I would tell people that don't know her, like, I've got this friend going through cancer, but she's handling it like a fucking champ, and it's amazing. Like, check out these pictures she's posting where she's going through cancer, and she's posting these hilarious photos of her with 2 Hooters in front of her, and it's amazing. And so I would tell other people about Erin, but, like, I never really took the time to reach out to Erin during that. I always kind of felt like she's going through enough already. Like, yeah, I'm sure everybody's reaching out to her, and, like, she doesn't really need another person from her past, like, going, like, hey, how are you doing? And then when she passed, like, it was just this instant wash of regret that I didn't reach out to her, or even reach out to any of you guys and talk about her, remember. So when it happened, I was so devastated. I remember getting the news thanks to Andrew's post on one of her last photos, and I was at my office. I was working late, and the whole point of working late, I got 2 kids. Like, I could never get work done. I'm always behind. And then I got this news, and I just couldn't do anything. I was paralyzed for like an hour, and I didn't really have anybody to reach out to. And Andrew, you posted a few things about going out drinking, and I went out drinking, but I didn't really have anybody to connect to. In the coming days, like, I ended up talking to Michelle Roca. She's somebody that I still keep touch with, but it just kind of reminded me that I lost touch with all of you guys. So I'm glad we're all here and sharing memories of Erin and reconnecting with each other, and I think that's what Erin would enjoy the best. Okay, I've talked too much about that, but let's talk about Erin. I remember working on Erin's film, Hope for a Thorn, her feature, the summer right before I moved out here, and I didn't really appreciate it at the time, but since her passing and thinking about her, like, she really went out of her way to make every single person on the set feel welcomed and appreciated, and like, I was the first AC, and it's not really like a creative position. I wasn't like a big collaborator on the film, but like, all I was doing was I was right behind Marco, I was just pulling focus, but she made like everybody on the set feel like they were the most integral part of the set, and that's like the main thing that I remember. She, like, in between takes, was talking to every single person, not just like to Mike, ADing. It was a very special experience, and that was right before I moved out here to Los Angeles. So like, that was like my kind of last film school experience, and it was the first experience or second experience on a feature. I was working on Laura's feature right before that, so it was a pretty grueling summer. I feel like I'm just rambling at this point, but like, it was a really great experience working with Erin and working with all of you guys, and I really miss her and that experience, and you know, I don't have a really good way to wrap this up, so there you go.
I didn't want to talk tonight. I still don't want to talk. I told Eric asked me to say something, and I told him I can't say anything sweet and inspirational the way he did. I was so fucking angry. So angry that she's gone. And so I'm trying to think of like ways to. I mean, any of you who know me well know me. I have anger issues anyway.
What?
So trying to figure out a way to get past that. I told a few of you the tonight about how Erin and I became friends. I tried to convince John Wright to come out, and he couldn't. He's gonna go. I think he's gonna go to the memorial service in Florida. But John and I were friends since we were 10 years old, and I went to film school because of him. And I was a year behind him, and I was so anxious about getting my portfolio into UCF that I came in person to do it. And while there, he invited me over to some place and introduced me to some people, and I don't remember who all was there, but you don't forget Erin. So she was there that night, and I remember meeting her, and I remember my first week of film school, once I got in, just being in the hall waiting for a class to start or something, and she walked by and saw me and came up to me and like wanted to make sure that I felt welcomed and felt like I belonged. And that's the thing, like, I'm actually very introverted and very shy, very anxious about meeting new people. I can't go to networking meetings and things like that. I hate that shit. I would never be friends with Erin if it wasn't for the fact that she picked me. She saw me and she picked me as her friend. I don't know why she picked me. So she came up to me and just like made me her friend, and then invited me to work on her films, and then her capstone, like she asked me to produce her capstone. I produced her capstone and then made her feature together. I would do anything I could to have her back for just 10 minutes to have a conversation one more time. I remember when she was in Chicago, I begged her to come back to Florida while I was making my graduate feature film because Erin was my security blanket. When I made my capstone, like I'm just a stress machine, and she came and was like my script supervisor, and just having her on set was just like such a comfort. And when somehow like the wrong film got loaded in the camera and we shot an entire day on the wrong film or something like that, like I was ready to explode, and Erin is the person who got me through that day. Anytime where I was just anxious and stressed out, Erin could take me and just like, all right, well, we're gonna solve this problem. We can do this. And so I was begging her to come back, and she just couldn't. She had too much in Chicago to come back, because I didn't know how I was gonna make a film without her. I just remember all the days in Chicago where we would just talk for hours on the phone. And I regret that we didn't talk for hours on the phone in the last year that I could have talked to her. I just hope she knows how much I loved her.
She does.
So that's all I have to say. She was amazing.
Does anybody else have a Danny?
I can, sure.
Go. I'll hold.
About to run out of battery.
It's okay. I can.
Okay, so I think like Andrew, I did not want.
Go ahead. Sorry, we're having. Okay, we're ready. We're ready. Everybody settle. Everybody settle for a take. And we're ready.
Camera rolling. All right. And cue tears. So I have no idea what's about to come out of my mouth. It wasn't until I was driving over here, because Laura and I had to take separate cars, because I had the flowers in my car and Lucas was in Laura's car. So it was a moment when I was driving and I was on the 10, and I'm like, this is about to happen. So I feel like my life has been really blessed, and I've had a lot of great things, and I hope my family. But when I left UCF and I came out here, I feel like I've been on a hamster wheel, you know, and you're running. I'm sure a lot of you guys can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And Erin and I, we kept in touch as friends, but Erin was deeply a big part of my life when I was in college, and that's when Eric got his MacBook Pro. And it had photo booth.
I don't know if that was the first picture I took, but I'm gonna say it was.
Thank you. Erin and I became friends. I remember when I first got into film school, and I'm one of those kind of awkward people who I just kind of stand in the fringes. I just kind of stand in the corner for a while, and then I start to kind of make myself known. And
no one here can relate.
I'm sure. Very cool. Great place. What? We all felt that way?
What?
Holy shit. It wasn't until directing 2 that I actually became friends with Erin, where I felt like Erin and Eric, and like there's like a whole like posse of people. I'm like, oh, those are the cool kids. And I was like, oh, one day I'll be, you know. And we were all in the same class together. We were in directing 2 with Ula, and she had this incredible class. For anybody who had her as a teacher, realizes like she wasn't a great. Like the language barrier made it very difficult for her to be a great teacher. What? But she was brilliant. Yeah. Like she was like the UCF was so lucky to have her. She just didn't know how to like take what she was. So like we were all. I think if anybody had an ULA class, and you could probably there's things about that you're hopefully holding on to still and using in your life as a filmmaker. So we did this class directing 2. The assignment was that we were all going to make basically what turned out to be a feature And we were all going to take a section of a Bertolt Brecht play called The Lost City of Mahogany. And everybody takes an act, and they were going to all string together, and some actors would change, and everything was messy, but you take an act, and you'd make it, and we'd cut it all together, and it would be this thing. And we all did it, and it was really weird and kind of amazing. Like, it really was, when you watch it together, it kind of worked, and it was, again, very weird and broken. There's a lot of people in here who was part of it, either as actors or as crew. But that's when I got to know Erin, and we got to be friends. And we were friends because, I'm going to admit it here, because this is a group that we can do this. We were friends because, no shame, her and I were probably the only ones in film school who liked Dave Matthews Band. And we were those guys, because no one else wanted to say they were all into Radiohead, and Erin and I actually liked Dave Matthews Band. I moved past it. It was the time of my life where I liked Dave Matthews. I do not listen to Dave Matthews anymore. But Erin and I both liked Dave Matthews Band, and we bonded over that. And then I feel like Eric and I became friends because of Erin. I mean, it was Erin and I, and then it was like, okay, and Eric is my number 2, so it was like, okay, and I got to and we became a trio in many ways, and it was the 3 of us, and we, from that point on, we just kind of conquered life together. And I actually got to, once we graduated, Erin and I got to grad school together, and I didn't have anywhere to live, and so Erin's like, well, I think I'm gonna rent a house, and Alix Duggins. I don't even know how we all got together, but we all...
I was literally just thinking, I have no idea.
I don't know what happened that made the 3 of us, but we all got a house together in Winter Park, and we rented, and Erin and I lived together for 2 years, the 3 of us really, just lived together for 2 years, and became really close in that roommate kind of way, where we're all annoyed with each other, but love each other, and look out for each other, and know way too much about each other's personal details, and... Wait, what did you say?
Keys in the fridge. And you left your keys in the fridge.
Oh, okay, so that was, yeah, I did. I lost my car. I couldn't find my car keys, and it turns out they were in the refrigerator. Sure. There's all sorts of things, yeah. Erin was like that sister, she was always, I felt like we shared everything together. No judgment at all. We just could be totally honest with each other and be completely free and vulnerable. And I trusted her with everything. And we experienced a lot of bad breakups together. And Erin had many more than I did. She had some interesting. We were just talking about Brooks.
What are you drinking?
Yeah, but true Floridian. God bless him. God bless that man.
He is Florida man.
A Florida man.
We're sorry, Erin.
Yeah, I am sorry, Erin.
She'd love it.
Erin, I mean, she was my partner, man. She was my best friend for a lot of my life, a lot of the formative years of my life. And I mean, we're talking about random memories, and I'm just literally everything's coming to my head. So I remember the first time. Here's another weird detail about Erin. You remember her car?
Oh, yeah.
It was always so messy.
Yes. Yes.
She had such an awesome car, and as soon as you went in it, you were like, Erin, what is going on here?
If I can expound on that a little bit, she needed something out of her car one time, and I was like, I'll go get it for you. One of the worst mistakes I've ever made. There was an hour where I lived in that back seat, looking for whatever item of that. What was it, like a 2000-ish Camaro?
Yeah, Camaro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that silver
Awesome.
Camaro.
It was a pretty sick car.
It was a great car.
Come on, Erin.
You have like the C stand for that car.
I know. How did we move anything in that car?
So you graduate and then life goes on, and we we start our lives, and we move, everyone kind of goes in their separate. It's amazing that we're all together right now, and it is a tribute to Erin. It really is. And you know, I stayed in touch with Erin in a way that we all stay in touch with each other. You know, you connect every once in a while. You see each other when you're in town, and we try to check in on each other's lives. And so I got really lucky because we were actually in Orlando. My brother-in-law graduated from college this past summer, only a couple months ago, and so we went back to Orlando, and my son's godparents are in St. Petersburg, so we thought, well, this is a good double-decker. We'll go to do graduation with my brother-in-law, and then I'll go to St. Pete to baptize my son. And so we did that. And when we were there, we told Erin, like, hey, you gotta come to the baptism, or we gotta see you while we're there. And she couldn't make it to the baptism; she was down south. But like, she came up that Monday, and we were leaving that Monday. And it was one of those things that shouldn't have worked out, right? Like, we shouldn't have been able to see each other. And this was a week before she passed away. So, guys, like so much of life had changed. I mean, it's been. I mean, again, we'd seen each other in these like, oh, she's coming to LA for a day, or I'm passing through Florida for a day, but like we hadn't really talked, you know. And I've been out here for like 10 years, you know. Like, this is my sister. Married, and I have a kid, and I want her to meet my kid. I'm like, Lucas, this is Erin. I lived with Erin. She's like my best friend. She was like my best friend in college. You know, and he's like 2 and like running fucking up a wall. And it was important that we did that, right? It was like important for me. I was like, I get to spend that time. She came over to my wife's, Laura's, aunt who lives in St. Pete. She came over to her house to have lunch, but they were eating roasted pork that they had the night before. So Erin brought her own salad and we sat around this huge table where like half the family on one side who doesn't speak much English was over there, while the other half was over here. It was basically Laura and I and Erin, and we're eating our pork and she's eating her salad. But we talked. And it's the first time I've seen her in a bit, and definitely the first time since she had gone through what she had gone through. And so it was, you know, an hour and a half of us talking, and it was mainly me listening to everything she had gone through. And you know, it's hard to explain, but it's like one of those things where I feel like I've been here and I've like lived a life, and I feel like Erin had gone through 3 lifetimes in like a year or 2 years. Like she was just so incredible. Like, she had this like this stillness and this beauty and this hardness because of everything she had fucking dealt with, you know, everything she had been through and gone through, and she was on the other side of it. Like, she was done. Last chemo, done. And her mom and her had a trip to Europe coming up, and she was so excited about that trip, and it was a month in Europe together, and she was really filled with still this, like, there was a darkness, she was jaded, right? I mean, she had been through a lot, but there was this like hope, you know, like, I've been through it now, and like, this is ahead of me, you know? And like, yeah, there's still tests and there's still things we need to know, but like, I got this trip coming up, and you know, and she showed me her scars, and I kept away from all the Facebook stuff, so I didn't see any of it. But she wanted to show me. She showed me at the table with the non-speaking Spanish people on the other side, you know, straight up just showed me, man. Fucking, I'll never forget it. Because she's so fucking brave and amazing and inspiring. I'm so lucky that I got that moment with her.
Mm-hmm.
And got to do the stupid phone pose one more time with her. And I love you, Erin. I miss you like fucking crazy, and I'm so sorry I didn't get to see you and be with you more of these last 10 years, but life is just, that's the way it is, man. It's just unexplainable. It's amazing, and it's beautiful, and it's this short, and we gotta just love the people that are around us, and we gotta love these friends, because this is what it's about, man. It's not fair, and death isn't fair, and there's never going to be a logic to it, and it's never going to make sense. And some people get that beautiful, you know, goodbye with the bed and everyone crying around, but that doesn't happen more often than not. And I don't know what to say at this point besides, you know, thank you guys, and I'm so happy you're here, and I love you all, and I miss you, Erin. I
Thank
love
you
Erin.
for sharing that.
Yeah.
Just quickly, in case anyone wants to share and isn't quite ready yet. Danny reminded me of two memories, and I can't remember what one of them was. But one of them, Dave Matthews Band reminded me. I was not a fan.
No, you were not.
Was not a fan, but Erin and Danny were so. You gotta check out Dave. 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 Just wait till you see him live. Just wait till you see him live. Wait till you see him live. Check out Dave. Check out Dave. Dave. Live. So I'm finally like, okay. We'll go. So we went, and the three of us drove to West Palm Beach in the summer of 2005 to see Dave Matthews Band. And I stood there while the two of them had the night of their lives, going, when are they going to play the songs I know? And the last song of the night was a cover of All Along the Watchtower. And I'm standing there like, well, I know this song. And all of a sudden I feel behind me, something bumps into me, and I turn around. There's some girl, and she's like collapsed on the ground, and her friend is like, "My friend's sick. Can you help us?" And being the altruist I am, I was like, "Sure." So I gather up this girl, and we walk to the top of the. This is the West Palm Beach Amphitheater. Forever, anyone who's there, it's a hill. And we walk to the top of that, and the girl's like, okay, thanks. And I'm like, all right, well. And I go back, and the second I get back to Danny and Erin, it's over. The show's over. I'm like, I missed the only song I know. To help some girl who's, I don't know what she's on, but it wasn't just this Chardonnay that somebody brought. Thank you, Ann. But I'll be damned if that wasn't just one of the best nights ever. Best days, because you guys shared something with me that is so near and dear to your hearts, and I didn't get it at all. And still don't. But God, I wouldn't trade that for a minute of sitting at home doing whatever I was going to do that Sunday night. And I'm so thankful for it. And now I remembered what the other thing was. For those interested, if the night rolls on, I have brought a copy of The Rise and Fall of the City of Mahogany.
What?
Which is one of the most boring hours you'll ever spend. But with our combined commentaries,
Some of it's hilarious.
yes. and we will laugh like we've
And
never
Erin's
laughed
in
before.
it.
And Erin is in a lot of it.
Yeah.
There's a couple pictures. That's not one of them.
Yeah,
Why
there's
is she
been
drinking
two
in
of
a
them.
car?
I don't think so.
Oh, it says root
It's
beer. It says root
root
beer.
beer.
Okay. Route 66 beer. I get it. But she's in it, and there's a couple screen grabs from there, and that's that. So if anyone else is ready to share,
Can I say something?
Christy,
I'll say something just super quick.
come on up.
So I didn't know her like you guys did.
Yes, you
Yeah.
did.
Yes,
No, I
you did.
didn't. But that's my
Okay,
point.
okay, wait.
But my point.
For the universe, Erin considered you her sister. And you were like a smaller version of Erin.
Literal.
And it's so much that they called each other
Sister.
sister. So you cannot say that, oh, I didn't know Erin that well, because you guys shared a bond,
Yeah.
even just through aesthetics. that is
But I mean, I didn't know her in the
intensely
same
special.
way
Okay, fine.
because.
You didn't go to Dave Matthews.
No, I didn't go to that, so I missed that. I just wanted to say though, like,
Take it away.
you guys were peers, right? So you're in the same class.
Oh, you're
And-
a beer. Come on.
No, she was my mentor, and so I just quickly wanted to say that as amazing, you know, different points of view. I have a different point of view. We were in the younger class, Alix and a bunch of us, and so I think I met all you guys. I met her when I was 18, and there aren't a lot of girls in film school. There are a lot of awesome ones, but there are mostly boys in film school. And and so there were a lot of different ways when I was so young. I didn't have a lot of. She provided a very good example of what it's like to be a strong woman, along with Anne and Chrissy and Gina and Allie.
Girls.
Yes, girls. I just mean, you guys provided a very strong example of what you can be as a female in this very male-dominated world. A lot of great guys, no offense to you guys, but it's just what is our space and what do we do and what can we be like? And she really helped me figure that out. Because like she directed me a lot. I was an actor for her a bunch of times, which is a very unique relationship. So I just wanted to let her family know that she's affected me for my entire life, as I'm sure lots of other people, male and female. She provided an incredible example, and I'm very grateful. So, thank you.
You know, it's like I've forgotten a lot, right? I've literally no memory of how we came to live together.
No, me either.
No idea. Like, in thinking about it, it's weird that would have even happened, not being in the same class. And I feel like, you know, nearly every day I've like remembered something else. So, but you know, it's so amazing to be here with all of you and to catch up with people that I haven't seen in a long time. But of all of the people that we were in school with, aside from those who live in New York with me, she's the person that I have seen the most. And I think, you know, life has taken a lot of unexpected turns, and to know that through every one of those, she's been my friend without judgment, right? And every time we would see each other, whether that was in Chicago or in Florida, or in New York, you don't waste time with bullshit. You never have to do that with her. You can always get to what's really going on with you, and that's one of the things that's so rare. You never have to be anybody but yourself. She was never anybody but herself. And that's something that I miss a lot. There's like a lot of other memories, but I just want to share the last time that I saw her, which I feel very fortunate to have seen her this past spring. She came to New York for a second opinion. She'd been through a lot of treatment at that point, through surgeries, post-surgery, and it was like a whirlwind thing. She was like really last minute. She came with her family. She's there for a very short amount of time. He said, wherever you are, I'm gonna come and see you. And she's like, if you can make it, he said, doesn't matter. I will piece out of work, and they will just have to deal with it. And she didn't have very much time, so I left work to meet her, and we met on the steps of the Met Museum. And she and her parents were going to see a show, the band's visit, which is amazing, which I had just seen, and she was like, anybody have a show to see? I'm like, that's the one, you should see it. So she didn't have very much time. They had to go back to their hotel. And so what we did is we walked across Central Park, and we walked to the train. And I rode the train back with them downtown. So she's like, is this the direction you're going? I'm like, no, but you're here, and I'm gonna spend this time with you. And it was such a short time, an hour even. I got to see her, and there's, that experience changes a person, right? And there's so many ways that I found her to be different because of her experience. She's always been really strong and confident, but not even more so. Yeah. In herself and in her beauty and her strength, and in kind of the life that she had made for herself. And there was this aura about her. And we talked a lot about the future. I remember we were in the park, and she'd just been to the doctor, and we were taking a call from the doctor, and all the news is good. And it was great, because her second opinion was the same as the first opinion. It's all right, so we just have to do these scans, but everything it's going well. For what she was going to do next, going forward, and we're going to my wedding, and all of these things about the future, and there's so much that's really tragic and awful about what she had gone through, but I literally don't know how she did all that and still maintain this just amazing view of the world and hope for herself and hope for what our future would be. And the other thing I remember about that is springtime in New York is the most beautiful time, and there's 5 days, right, where the weather is and trees are blooming, and it's Central Park, and so there's all these ways in which just very different than I think the person that first lit the film for on her set more than a decade ago, but we still stopped to take pictures. There's still all these things that are about her that were still seeing in who she was, and who she was for me, and I think who she was for a lot of people, and the way that she looked at the world and was just constantly seeing beauty in the world. I'm inspired so much by how she's lived her life, and for me there's a lot of change in my life happening right now, and thinking a lot about what are the decisions that she made, and what are the things that she chose to value, and where she spent her time and her energy, and how she conducted herself as a person. I'm about to drive across the country and reading her blog and thinking about how do I'm gonna pass through the same places that she was, and I think it's just kind of a surreal experience. I miss her a lot. wish that I'd gotten to share a lot of, all of the change and like hopes and dreams for the future that I have with her, because she always got it. She's always a good listener and always a great friend, no matter what.
I'm a super quick, fun palate cleanser.
Go
if
ahead.
anybody,
Go ahead.
I know I already went, but like I
No,
just
no.
thought of this one. That I think it's come up a lot of times already. There were a lot of Drews in our film school, right? Reiber's back here, and everybody went by their last name. It was Reiber, it was Suppa, it was Blattman, Lindo. Everybody went by their last name, except for me. I was always Drew Agan. Like, they would just, it would always be the full name on me. And on the set of Hope for a Thorn, Erin was like, it's so hard to say Drew Agan every time. Like, can we shorten this? And like, but like nobody ever called me Agan. And over the past like decade, people have asked me like, do you have a nickname? And I'm like, never really had a nickname except for this one time. This girl that I did a project with, she was the director. She gave me the nickname Dragon. She shortened Drew Agan to Dragon, and she was the only person that called me. Like, it didn't really catch on. But like, so I'll tell people like, this one time I had this nickname Dragon. They're all like, you're not cool enough to have that. But Erin thought I was cool enough to have the nickname Dragon. So quick palate cleanser. There you go. That's how Erin works.
I was recently talking to Robert Destori.
It's a holiday.
This is just Los Angeles.
Fireworks.
It's Saturday.
It's Saturday.
It is Saturday.
Saturday.
Almost
not
East Saturday.
And he hadn't heard about anything that Erin was dealing with, so he was totally surprised to hear about it. And his reaction was the same exact reaction I had, which was, I can think of about 50 people from that film school who I would rather have died than Erin.
Wait,
40 of them are here right now.
wait, there was only 48 of us.
Well, then he said 60 if you count faculty. And I mean, when you think about Erin,
Such a Robert just like.
it's rare to meet a person where you've never heard anyone say anything negative about them. It seems like they've only had a positive effect on everybody they've ever met. So, I mean, just hearing all these stories, I feel like it seems like just Erin is going to live on just in this amazing positive impact she's had, because she was a very special person. So that's it.
If nobody's got anything else immediately, let's. Why don't we take a quick break and watch some more of her work? So, Drew, can you?
Yeah, I got you.
Just hit finish and then save if you can. Meantime, let's. I think